Okay, these problems go along with Chapter 5, Section 2, and these are story problems, which are kind of fun to do. The first one I'm going to show you as an example of is number 4. Again, your assignment is odd, so I'm going to show you some evens. Number 4 states that the book note makes 4 times as much revenue on paperbacks as on hardback books. If last month's sales totaled $124,300, how much was each type of book? So we need to decide that we're going to how to come up with this in regular variable form. So we have makes 4 times as much revenue as on paperbacks. You have paperbacks and hardbacks, so that's kind of the relevant information here. So 4 times as much on paperback. So that's going to be, we're going to make that a 4x, and we're going to make hardbacks x. And the total of those then is going to be the $124,300. Okay, so 4 times as much as on hardback. So if hardbacks is x, 4 times x is going to be the paperbacks. Okay, so now we want to go ahead and solve that problem. Well, since we have x and x, we can combine those. So we have 5x then is equal to 124,300 because I hadn't done anything with that. So now I'm going to just simply want to know what the single x is going to be. So I divide each side by, the number in front of the variable. So I'm going to divide each side by 5. So how many 5s in 5x? How many 5s in 24,300? And you can certainly put that into your calculator if you'd like. But we're going to get then 24,860 is the value of our x. Okay, well, we want to know how much was each type. Well, if 1x is the 24,000, and that's going to be the hardbacks. Our paperbacks is going to be 4x, so now we just need to multiply 4 times that number there of the 24,860, gives us a grand total of $99,440. Okay, so now we know what each type, and we should do a quick check to see if that adds up to our correct number, and it does. When we do a check to see if when we add those two up, we should get our original answer. And it does, so we know we're okay. Our second problem I thought I'd show you is 10. And 10 states, Easy Stop Fast Gas sold $10,000 and $957 worth of gas yesterday. Regular sold for $230 and premium sold for $255. If the station sold 420 more gallons of regular than premium, their first question then is how many gallons of each were sold. Well, first off, we have to get our variable like we did in problem number 4. So if we have x is going to be our premium, and then x plus the 420, because it sold 400 more gallons of regular than premium. Okay, so if that's our premium, this is going to be our regular. Okay, so that's a good start there. We now have our variables. But they kind of threw us a little loop here in the sense that they have everything in monetary terms. So now we have to plug into our equation then our monetary terms. So if 255 is premium, and premium is x, so we're going to have then 255 times x plus we're going to have our 230 x plus the 420. Okay, remember that is a quantity because x plus 420 then is going to be the quantity. So we have to make sure that is in our equation. And of course then that is going to equal our total amount of money, our $10,957. Okay, so now we have quite an interesting little problem then. We need to be able to multiply all of that through. So we would then, since we have a quantity here, we need to take care of that first. So 230 times x plus, remember we're going to multiply everything in the quantity, 230 times the 420 is going to give us 966. You can go ahead and do that on your calculator, not a problem. Okay, we didn't do anything with this, so this is 255x plus the 230x plus our quantity that's been multiplied is still going to equal our 10,957. Okay, so what is our next step? Well, you notice we have x's and x's. Well, we can't have that, can we? We've got to combine our x's. So then that is going to give us a total of then 4.85x, because we're going to add the 230 and the 255. We didn't do anything with this. All we did is combine our like terms. Okay, so that's our step. We just do one thing at a time and then move on down. Well, again, we want variables on one side and whole numbers on the other side. So then we have to subtract, because this is a positive, remember, we do the opposite. So we're going to subtract the 966 from both sides. Again, because we have a balanced equation. Okay, so that's going to cancel out. So 485x is going to equal 9991 when we do our subtraction here. Okay, so again, as we're continuing to work down, we have 4.55x is equal to this. So this is probably where the calculator is, because you're not probably going to be able to do this in your head, and that's certainly acceptable. You're going to divide by the number in front of the variable. Okay, so how many 4.85s and 4.85? Those are going to cancel out. We get x, right? 4.85 into 991, and we're going to get 2,060 gallons. Okay, and again, x is our premium. So then we're going to need our x plus the 240 then for our regular. So we add, if x then is equal to 2060, our x plus our 420 then is going to give us our 2480 for our regular, because we added the 420 in. And that's the answer to the problem, because they want to know how many gallons of each. Well, then they want to have that information. They also wanted to know, as the second part of the equation, which is very hard to read, what was the profit on regular? If it was 18 cents and premium 20, what did we make then? Well, now we have to simply plug that number in. So I'm going to get a clean sheet of paper here instead of doing our other one as I had set up. Remember, we had premium is equal to 2,060, and our regular then, which was our x plus the 420, that was our premium, was 2480. Okay, and they gave us some information that they told us how much of profit was on each one. So if the regular was 18 cents, so we simply multiply the 2,480 times 0.18 as a quantity, and then we multiply the 2,060 times the quantity of 20 cents. Again, so we're just going to multiply through. And again, this is back to just being a calculator. Nothing fancy here. Just go ahead and multiply through. We're going to get the 412 and 446.40. Okay? And they want to know how much total then. So we would just simply add that all up, because it's an addition. When we did our math, this is what we got. This is an even number. So we would have a total of $858.40. So that's the profit on gas that they got for the day. And they sold a fair amount of gallons. So you now know why, if this is your business and that's your total profit that you made for a day, which isn't horrible, but you now know why they also sell food and pop and all those other things in the little convenience stores to offset their profit. Okay, so as you continue the problems here in section 2 for Word, you just go slow and easy. Set them up, do one step at a time, complete each step just like what we did when we had this type of problem. Just go slow and easy, do one step at a time, just drop it down. Yes, it takes up a little bit of paper, but you won't get lost. So, have fun with these. Again, the odd answers are going to be in the back for you, and good luck.